Hi folks, it's Dr. Hudgens. I have read your discussion board posts this morning and have posted feedback for you in the rubric. In this course, because there's a variety of different activities, most of your feedback for your portfolios and your discussion boards are going to be found in the rubric. For some of your formal papers, you'll have feedback that'll actually be in on your paper through inline grading as well as your rubric. So make sure that when you're looking for feedback, you look in both places throughout the next 8 weeks. And of course, if you're getting feedback and you're not certain about it or you're not understanding it, touch base with me and let me know that you have questions, and I'll walk you through the feedback that was provided and answer any questions or concerns you have. There were so many great insights into the value of self-reflection into your practice, not just your professional practice as nurses. Some of you are in educator roles. Some of you talked about the value of self-reflection in your growth in your walk as a child of God. All of those things are meaningful and valuable outcomes of self-reflection. One of your classmates did a really nice job of kind of putting an exclamation point on the concepts. Your classmate Susan wrote, according to Holleran, self-reflection is an opportunity to grow through evaluation of one's actions. This is an opportunity to improve yourself and do better the next time, to strive for excellence. I believe we all fall short because of fear and self-doubt. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." I believe we are all where we are supposed to be because God has placed us there. He puts a dream in our hearts and a thought in our mind. He is always there to remove doubt and fear. Psalms 34 verse 4 tells us, "I sought the Lord, and he answered me and delivered me from all my fears." This scripture reminds me to work for his glory and satisfaction, not against my fears and self-doubt. I found it very encouraging to read your self-reflections. And she goes on to thank you, her peer, for her post. I think Susan does a beautiful job of really reminding us who we should be working for, whose world we really are in. I love the fact that many of you really thought about not just what does it mean to think about my thinking? What does it mean practically? How does it improve my practice? But then how does it improve me as an individual? One of your classmates mentioned the value of self-reflection in making people more emotionally aware. And connecting us with our emotional intelligence, which I thought was a great connection. So I think you guys really did a great job with this concept. Developmentally, 620 is one of those fun classes to teach because you guys are at the end of the road. You know how to do discussion boards. It's so much fun for me just to be able to sit back and read and be able to really see your evolution in your own writing. I so value the fact that you guys have figured out what it means to be concise and purposeful in your writing, especially in the discussion board. So you guys did a great job with that. 2 APA points. Remember, if you are not able to locate a DOI, you need to use an abbreviated URL from where you have found your resource if it's an electronic resource. Please don't copy and paste the entire URL from the Jerry Falwell Library. That's 3 or 4 lines. Back it up to the end of the search engine so we know the general location and the publisher that is supporting the article in a virtual space. Do not use a URL because you haven't tried to find the DOI. The URL option is only available if a DOI has not been provided. Most articles in the recent 5 to 8 years have been publishing with DOIs. If your article doesn't have a DOI, make sure you're looking at an article that's from a peer-reviewed journal that is recent, and as well as it is also scholarly and not an editorial or a commentary. Some international journals don't do the DOI process as well, so just use caution. The last thing I'm going to encourage you to do is make sure you proofread your work before you submit it. Just because Word isn't giving you a red squiggly line doesn't mean that there aren't mistakes. Autocorrect can be your arch nemesis. It thinks you know what you're thinking, and it will create a word that isn't even close to what you were thinking. And I, reading students' work, I often go through and go, that's not the right word. And you can tell that it's completely not the right word, and you know that the autocorrect gremlins have gotten a hold of somebody. So just take the time and proofread your work slowly and make sure that the autocorrect function in your automated word processor isn't coming around to bite you. Next week, you've got your another discussion board that is focused on your copyrights, fair use, and the Teach Act. Great concepts, really key for you as educators to know about proper copyrighted materials and how we use those as educators without infringing on the author's rights and protections. Really think about the concept of open access. That's covered in the topic as well. So key concepts for you, just practically speaking. The other thing you get to do is you get to start your portfolio. Please play with the tool. The portfolio needs to be very much about who you are. Think about what you would want an employer or a colleague. Let's say you're in an academic setting and you're going for promotion. This type of tool, you may not choose to use a Blackboard setup, but there's lots of portfolio setups. Think about if you sent someone the hyperlink to your portfolio and you were looking for promotion or a new position, and your potential new boss opens the hyperlink and sees your portfolio. What do you want them to see? What do you want them to know about you as a professional? Be very thoughtful in how you create a portfolio that's meaningful for you, meets the objectives of the assignment, but is also really reflective of who you are as an individual. Have a little bit of fun with it, customize it, play with all the buttons. You've been provided some tutorials on how to access all of that information. So just make sure that you spend some time playing with it before you actually try to drive the car. The section 1 asks you to do some summaries. I'm going to encourage you to write your professional expertise and your teaching philosophies. These should be concise. I know that you've written a teaching philosophy in one of your prior courses. Please do not copy and paste that. Go through and synthesize that and create kind of a 500-word synopsis of what was in there. I'm going to encourage you not to put those on as attachments. You want someone to open your portfolio and immediately be able to read who you are. Your resume may be something you do want to put on as an attachment, or you can embed it in the body of your portfolio. It's entirely up to you. But make sure before you go in and post the resume that you keep on your My Documents on your computer, that you polish it. Go in and clean it up and make sure that the components that are on your resume match up to what is outlined in the assignment. The other thing to remind you is you need to be demonstrating the relationship between the concepts that you're placing in your portfolio with the NLN core competencies, and your your assignment instructions provide you the framework for doing that. It's basically the bracket and the number of the competency that you're referencing in that section. So it's not overly intrusive when somebody is reading it, but I know if I see a number 8 that's where you're headed. So I think that about covers it. I hope you guys are having a really great week. I know that at this point, senioritis is probably creeping in, plus the beginning of a new year. Organizationally, for most of us, if you're in an academic setting, we are in full swing. If you're in a professional setting, everybody is settled in for the winter and the flu season. So we are all busy people. So make sure you're taking care of yourself as you wrap up these last 8 weeks. Stay focused, stay dialed in. Ask good questions. Use the Ask the Discussion board for general questions. Email me privately for things that are specific to you. Know that I'm praying for you and that I'm here to support you in your last 8 weeks. Super exciting times. Y'all take care and have a great day.